Because narcissism exists on a spectrum, there are so many types of quote unquote narcissists out there. But today I'm going to outline 3 basic types that you may have come across or you might know right now. As you listen, see if you recognize anyone you know. And I sincerely hope you don't. Welcome to Waking Up from Narc Abuse, a micro podcast by Alana Sanborn. This is a micro podcast. It's meant to start your thoughts flowing. It's meant to be the beginning of a conversation, a dialogue, not a monologue. Because we're talking about something that's pretty heavy, my hope is that shorter episodes that are easier to digest will help you without overwhelming you. And here is today's show. There's one main ingredient that most victims of narcissistic abuse have in common. It's the incessant question, am I good enough? It's a heavy, lurking question that hangs on nearly everything you do. It shows up as you constantly trying to improve yourself, being nice to everybody, or helping others above all other responsibilities. You think, and other people think, you're being altruistic and kind. But underneath all your efforts, there's actually a shadow reason that you do all this. And that's where the am I good enough question comes in. You are endlessly trying to answer that question. And you also deeply believe you know the answer, which is a gigantic, overwhelming no. You not only struggle with the question internally, but you're also constantly looking for other people to confirm that you're good enough. The trick is you're not doing any of this consciously. You have a deep core belief that you suck, and practically everything you do stems from this belief. That's basically it. It's only when you get deeper into your psyche with a coach or a therapist that you can understand why you do things the way you do. When you're seeking confirmation that you are good enough, you're not literally asking people, hey, am I good enough? You're searching for their answer unconsciously through your behaviors. You do this by trying to please them, looking for them to appreciate you, and in more insidious cases, finding solace in being needed by others. You're constantly trying to prove yourself, prove your worth to everyone around you, and really trying to prove it to yourself. If this is you, if it sounds like you probably have a pattern of other people relying on you quite a bit. And maybe sometimes it feels like you're surrounded by people who take from you and don't really give anything back. Lots of people come to you with their problems, lean on you in times of need, and for the most part, it feels pretty good. But there are times when it becomes a burden. You get tired, you're drained. You want to stop answering your phone or door or emails. You want to shut out the world and just rest. But what keeps you going? You don't really want to hurt anyone or disappoint them. You can't say no because someone might be upset with you. Then someone might be upset with you. The truth is, you need to be liked. You need to be loved. You need to be needed in order to feel worthy. A vicious voice inside you is always pushing you forward into other people's fires in order to be the hero that extinguishes the flame for them, saves their lives in that moment. Because if you don't rush into the flames, you're a terrible person. Even worse, you're a nobody. And we all want to matter, to be important to someone. This is where the first type of narcissist comes in. I call this type the needy narcissist. They might be another person in need, someone who flocks to you as their savior, or so it seems. The needy narcissist shows up in your life with a lot going on. Here's a short list of things that they might present to you with. They've got some kind of illness. They have money issues. They seem lost and need guidance. They say you're the only person they can confide in about their deepest thoughts and secrets. They have major drama with family or past issues with ex-partners, business colleagues, or friends. They've been victimized in some way. They have drug or alcohol issues that impact their functioning. They really need your help. The needy narcissist comes to you like glue, a magnet. They are magnetized to your desire to help. They can see you and your giving, caretaking, thoughtful self a mile away. And they know exactly what to do to get entrenched in your life. They recognize that one of your biggest vulnerabilities is that you'll do just about anything for someone you care about. They are ready to take advantage of that, believe you me. The needy narcissist is helpless in some ways, but not in every way. You might have a needy narcissist in your life if you say or think things like, they have so much potential. If I could just help them, they'll be able to blank. If I could just stick around through the hard times, I know there'll be good times again. They seem like they've got some things together. They just have maybe had a hard childhood and they need some help getting through an experience. Or maybe they have a sob story about an old relationship that makes you feel like they're just kind of a wounded bird and you want to help them heal. They just need love. There's all kinds of things that they'll do and say to suck you in. And they'll probably, if they're really good at it, nail down exactly the thing that really tugs your heartstrings and use that. Somehow they'll know, either by doing research on you, getting to know you a little bit, or intuition on their part. They have a steely eye for ways to exploit people, and they will find your exact buttons to push. The second type of narcissist is an interesting one because they start off as your hero. I call them the noble narcissist. They swoop in and they see how exhausted you are. They see that you need to put your feet up. They help carry the burdens that you've been lugging around for so long. You might feel like super grateful for their arrival in your life. You might even overlook some minor things in the beginning that don't feel quite right. When they arrive in your life as your hero, they're just who you've been looking for. They fill a gap in your life that you've been missing, and they know what you need like nobody else does. They're the first person who really sees how tired you are, how much support you need. The noble narcissist looks like this. They distract you from your life by whisking you off on adventures. They say everything you want to hear. They appreciate how hard you work. They pamper you, tell you you deserve it. They're quick to make others the enemy in your life if you complain about something. They go overboard with being, quote, on your side. Maybe they pay for things that you would think are a luxury or just not practical, but you really do love. The noble narcissist might be a person in your life who makes you laugh and do wild things and feel alive, helps you escape the doldrums of your challenging life. Or they might be the romantic partner who just gets you like no one else ever has. They see how vulnerable you are, and they use that to gain access to your life. They push their way further and further into your life in subtle ways without you even realizing it. This goes for friendships, romantic partnerships, business partners, doesn't matter. They are a parasite, sucking you dry while you look at the shiny image they've created to distract you. Now, what about the third type of narcissist? This one might be the trickiest. I call them the normal narcissist. This is the person that shows up in your life just normally. They just seem sane, easy, nice, fun, kind. And slowly, little by little, they gradually turn into a monster. They turn into your worst nightmare. I mean your worst nightmare. It's customized for you. The narcissistic person in your life has a playbook that most narcissists use, but they take your particular fingerprint and they create the nightmare based on your fears, your desires, your secrets, your pain, your trauma. The normal narcissist is the sneakiest. They're the one that you don't suspect. They're the neighbor next door that nobody thought would be so horrible to do the things they did. They just seem normal until they're not. Any kind of narcissist can fool you. They're all good liars, and the really good ones do it gradually. So you don't even realize that the change is happening, that the mask they wore when they first met you is slipping. Now, this should go without saying, but obviously this is all different when you're talking about a narcissistic parent. Those are a whole different can of worms. But we can take this moment to thank those parents for setting you up for a lifetime of toxic relationships. Look, parenting is really hard. We're not dissing on the parents here. Just, man, sometimes it's rough to see the relationship that your parent has with you reflected in the ones you cultivate for the rest of your life. Back to the noble narcissist, the needy narcissist, and the normal narcissist. Look, all three of these types will eventually hurt you in a very similar way. Three very different approaches from the narcissistic types I've described, but the end result is the same. You end up abused, used, and drained of your time, energy, and sometimes money. And when they move on, you feel empty, bewildered, and so foolish. The experience of being played by a narcissist is one of the most painful things you'll ever experience. I don't wish it on anyone. So if you recognize someone in your life based on the descriptions in this podcast, maybe reach out and talk to someone about it. I'm here for you if you need to chat. I'm here to help you figure out what's going on in your relationship and what's going on with you. The good news is I've seen and helped lots of people heal from these dynamics, and you can too. Until then, good luck out there and take care of yourself.